this. No, I don't want a hot water heater. Okay, we don't get one. Look at yourselves. You're smart, you're bright, and you have an advantage that previous commissions did not have. You have each other, and you have a staff. Listen to each other. Listen to your fellow commissioner. Don't close your ears to him. Commissioner Meyer is absolutely correct. However, if I may, I'm so glad you're here. It isn't a matter of sides. It isn't. We're all standing on the same patch of land. I'm not standing on this side and you're not over there. It's like this. Can we please move forward to other commissions? And this staff was amazing. For anyone who did not listen to those hearings or the last hearing, there is some staff available now. Mr. Waters, without a piece of paper in front of him. Commissioner Amoroso, unbelievable, clear, cool-headed, beautiful logic that needs to be listened to. Each of you have great ideas. Combine them. Do not dig your formidable heels in the sand like it's, you were right. Of course you were right, Commissioner Maxwell. This is now. Please join hands. And when you join hands as a commission and respect one another, I want a piece of Commissioner McCoy's idea. Commissioner Mayor, what do you think? Sorry. That damn 8, can we block that 8 out of there? I tell you, I'm going to come in with a black marker. Anyhow, you have an opportunity that is fantastic. Please take care of what's there. These very things, simple, practical things that you've spoken of here. By the way, why can't we have volunteers? You need a chandelier? Can we have somebody donate it? Can we have volunteers come in and work? You have citizens who are brilliant as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet Labanera, welcome. Followed by Erica Bell.
Well, good evening. My name is Janet Labanera. I live at 223 North K Street since April 3rd. So I'm a new resident in Lake Worth. I just think it might be good for you all to know that I chose Lake Worth over other cities that I looked at. I was in West Palm for a while. I looked in Jupiter. I looked in Palm Beach Gardens. I looked at 60 to 80 homes and chose to buy a cottage in Lake Worth because of Benny's on the beach and the pool and the golf course and the walkability of the town and the bike alleys. I envision myself on my bike and on my scooter and learning how to golf and taking Sally's aerobics classes, which I did before I even bought a house. So I see all these things in Lake Worth. I think it's a fabulous place. I think you have a fabulous opportunity in front of you. I didn't have any idea that a lot of this came about because of problems. I don't care that there were problems. I think now we have an opportunity to solve the problems with a bigger vision for the city. I liked what Commissioner Amoroso said about we don't want to overdevelop. I don't think anyone who's lived here a long time, I think that's what a lot of people are afraid about. And I would be afraid about that too. As a new resident, I don't want it to be overdeveloped. It would ruin things. But there is an opportunity to get some stronger economic base here that would run over into all of the things that the gentleman who owns Benny's mentioned and all, with more employment. One of the things that concerned me after I moved here was the crime. I didn't realize it was quite as bad. The incident happened near Burger King right after I moved in. There were helicopters overhead and I was terrified. So I think some stronger economy would help those things. It would be a ripple effect. So done wisely, I think it's a great, great opportunity. Something that was said tonight about the traffic studies, and I'm just sitting here thinking, I think in addition to the studies and just maybe bring in someone, experienced to help you make the decision so that as you make your decision, you make one that's sustainable and good for the whole city.
Erica Bell?
Madam Mayor, if you could just read my comments into the record.
Sure. Spend the $50,000 to create a city staff position of curator to book the casino space and the pool. No one even realizes they can rent it. Lake Worth is full of potential, fantastic events. Thank you. Would you excuse me, Vice Mayor, would you? I'm sorry.
Any big words here? Mary Watson, followed by Elise, oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher this, is it Crone? Good.
Mary Watson, 1817 Montague Street. I was going to start, although it seems some of this has been clarified, it's fiscally irresponsible and disingenuous to keep saying that the beach must be privatized because it's losing money from the pool. Simply close the pool if that is the real issue. And it does not explain why an Olympic-sized pool was never in the budget. It's not really that hard to see. This certainly gives the impression of planning to fail, rather than a plan that failed after it was put into place. The ITN was grossly misrepresented to Commissioner Boyd as well as the public. The repeated use of the word creative to hide a $15 million building project and privatization of the beach is dishonest, to be polite. For many of us, this is why we live here, to live in a beach town. This was my dream, and now you're taking it away from me. Why should we continue to pay for this if our right to the beach is given to Hudson Holdings? Why should we pay the $6 million back if it's being privatized? To me, this is not right. Going back over the tapes and the videos, it does kind of give the impression that this was pre-scripted. People come to Florida and here for the beach, not a massive and crowded convention center. A convention center can be anywhere, and should be anywhere, but the beach. Vera was just voted one of Florida's best beaches because, quote, it is not being overdeveloped. This also glosses over several disturbing factors that are on the tapes and are actual violations. EPIA compliance of one of the most ecologically sensitive turtle and nesting areas in the area. Also building east of, quote, the coastal construction line, and handicap accessibility. The public is overwhelmingly against this. Recent Palm Beach Post polls show this. This is also why John Zerdy was not reelected. This commission is supposed to represent the people of Lake Worth, not private interests. It says, shall not be leased except for less than 20 years. However, if anything else, it should come before the people. I propose that if you're building new buildings there, they're going to last well longer than 20 years. This also needs to come before the public. This land belongs to the public. We're paying for it now. If there's a change, we need a say in it. Thank you.
Elise Crone, followed by Tammy Panzo. Hi there.
Well, I'm amazed at all of the opinions I've heard and how there's something valuable in each one. And what I want to say is that I know a lot of people are upset that this has gone on so long, but I actually think we need to slow down a little more and really understand what's really going to work up there. I don't think we really do. And I'm really afraid of that Hudson Holdings proposal. I know it keeps getting scaled smaller and smaller, but it just seems really overblown, and we don't know if this is even going to work. It's like we think that just because it's a private developer, the plan's going to work, but private businesses fail all the time. So I think we really have to do a lot more homework. And I'm sorry that I missed the part where it was discussed how the ITN process was decided on, because I feel like this all got exploded onto us, and why did we do it this way? And I missed that part, so hopefully someone will fill me in.
Thanks.
Thank you. Tammy Panza, followed by Karen Jennings.
Tammy Panza, 160 North Ave. I have to say, I'm still waiting for the formal presentation to the commission of the projects. Where is that? Where are the bigger pictures? We got the Cliff Notes. Where is it? Are we supposed to depend on the ITN process that's been blasted across Facebook and every single blog from heaven? You guys have not discussed the proposals. One's really big. It might overwhelm our beach. One's really small. It may not pay the bills. This is time for you guys to all get together, make a compromise, pick something that works. But we went straight from the, appetizers, straight to the after dinner drinks. Where's the meat and veg of this? Where's the presentation? I want to see it. And I think we have been rehashing for the last, however many hours, all the reasons why it didn't work. This person's to blame, that person's to blame. We're spending too much money, we're not spending enough money. Basically, Barbara Jean was right, we do need to get together and make a compromise. It starts with you guys, it ends up with something at the beach that will pay the bills, that would be nice. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Karen Jennings, followed by Mary Welfare.
At the recorded minutes from the ITN meeting in February have some very interesting, although disturbing statements that are made in it. One of them is by Mr. Waters. And anyone who listened to the recording or read the Tribune would already be aware of this, where he says that the committee should not meet again before the March election if they want Commissioner Zerbe to be reelected. It's really inappropriate statement for a staff member to make. I hope the manager would agree with that. But then to follow it up, Commissioner Amoroso replies, basically that he agrees and that he had already talked to the manager to make sure it wasn't scheduled before the March election. And perhaps there was that concern because you all know that the public absolutely does not support any form of privatization on the beach. The residents of this city want a beach that is 100% public. And when we say beach, we don't mean the grains of sand and the water. We're not dummies. We know that's in the public realm. We mean the entire beach property that the city owns. So this effort to bring more development to the beach is really bound to be a failure. You can, keep rolling along, but then if you look at your history, like Commissioner Maxwell, you tried to give us a history lesson, but part of the history lesson is that when prior commissions have tried to move forward with any kind of public-private or private development on that beach, they have been removed from public office by the will of the people. And clearly that played out in this ITN committee and this March election. The public they don't support it. It doesn't matter if you individually like it or not, you're here to represent the public. And it is also disturbing to hear tonight that you don't have audited figures. So you're stirring the pot and creating all this commotion about finances at the beach without having audited numbers. This should have gone to a committee to look at the numbers and to come and talk to the commission about what the finances look like and how you could move forward. Not to an ITN, to a private developers to bring forward proposals. It's just really a shame that you're even trying to go to this route. It's not going to be supported. We don't want a larger building. The current site plan was created by the public. They didn't want a larger footprint. I understand, the LDR allows for a bigger building. But when the public was given the option and came to the charrettes and gave their input, they chose a smaller building. That's what they want. You'd be fools to go forward with it and do something different. Also, you keep referring to problems in the upstairs of the beach. I'd love for one of you or the manager, when it's your turn, to address what you have done to deal with the developer who built us a bad building.
Marty Wellfeld, followed by Jim McCandless.
Good evening, Marty Wellfeld, North Lakeside. I'm sitting and listening to what amounts to a lot of hyperventilating when we hear complaints along the lines of you haven't shown us the presentation, to people criticizing what's going on. There seems to be a middle ground that we need to have, and that's an informed public. I would love to wake up in the morning and see utilization of the beach up 500%, 1,000%. I wouldn't mind growing hair again also. I think we probably Stasis is not a solution. You can look at trends that are evident without having yet received audited figures. If you need to have audited figures before you make a decision on anything, that means you're going to be sitting on your hands a long time, repeatedly. We have elected officials who are supposed to be able to observe, analyze, and act. Thank you for doing that. Whether or not we do something along the lines of Hudson Holdings or install a restaurant or whatever, I'm totally agnostic with respect to that. It's absolutely unimportant to me what the solution is. But the city is bleeding. The loan, we were hearing complaints about. You're saying that it hadn't been repaid, and it had been repaid some. Let's face it, folks, if we had borrowed the money from a bank, the loan would be in default. That's it. So what we need to do is move forward with something, and it is up to you to make that decision. For you folks that may have a lot or a little of experience that makes that easier for you, you know, I don't know what to say, but you know, you all come from different backgrounds and you're not real estate developers or tax attorneys, so you're going to have to look for some input from other sides. I just wish we could get on with this and not try to say that the past is the only way to the future. Past is the past and the future is the future, and I think that's where we need to go. Thank you.
Please, followed by Ramsey McLeod. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
You did.
Ramsey, I think you're on. Oh, I take it back. Jim's on his way. Go on down, Jim.
Yeah, Jim McCandlish, 15 South Gulfview Road. Thanks for having us all here. Appreciate it, Commissioners and Mayor and ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm here to try and save the swimming pool. Everybody's got a different agenda, but that's mine because I love to swim. And this swimming pool that we've got, we're lucky enough to have, is very unique. It's one of the only Olympic-sized swimming pools right on the coast anywhere in America. It's unique, and we've got it. Of course, money, you say it's all about the economics, and I understand that. I'm told it costs $500,000 a year to operate the pool, what with lifeguards, heating costs in the wintertime, and so on. But I say before we send in the bulldozers and the agents of destruction, that we look at ways to market the pool and help make it pay for itself. 10 years or so ago, the pool was packed during the summertime with kids from throughout the city, from daycare buses were piled up outside the building, disgorging, laughing, squealing children who wanted to get into the water. In the wintertime, universities came down here and sent swim teams to work out in the pool and to spend their money in motels and restaurants all around us. Excuse me, sometimes I get too close. But somewhere along the line, all that stopped. I say it's time to try and make it work again before again we pull in the agents of destruction. I have with me a plan prepared by former pool lifeguard and instructor Jane DeCourcy, who used to work at the swimming pool, used to work in the city hall, who has a plan that can help bring in people. I've already shared it with Commissioner Maxwell, and I've got another copy here that I'd like to share with you all. But it's a point-by-point way of getting people to get involved with the pool and bring in revenue that might keep the thing going. Also, there's another plan by an English guy who used to be an Olympic swimmer, a guy called Robert Thomas, who's got 10 pubs in England, he's got a house on J Street, and he talks about bringing clubs that in Britain who want to come here rather than fly 15 hours to Australia to work out. Lake was a much better option. So anyway, since the great renovations to the beachfront, which I think we all agree are fantastic, with with a few exceptions. Our beach has never been more crowded as it was last winter. You know, no parking spots, restaurants doing a roaring trade, so the Benny's on the beach guy right here, he had a great time. So let's market the second floor of the casino. So I might get a new restaurant in here. Johnny Longboats was interested to begin with, then some other company from Michigan wanted to get in here. So let's market that, and let's market the pool. Let's look at these plans. Let's figure out a way to save it and maintain this wonderful beachfront. So I ask you, respectfully, commissioners, to please try this before we send in the wrecking ball.
Ramsey McLeod, followed by Richard Wersick.
Good evening, Ramsey McLeod from 24 South C Street. I've been here through all the studies and all the workshops that all the citizens have held about the beach. And basically the bottom line here, after all the discussion we've had tonight, is you're going to make a decision on selecting a proposal. And I would respectfully request that you defer from making that decision this evening. What I would propose is that you come back to the citizens and tell us what are the aggressive steps that the city is taking with the builder to correct just a few of the few things that Barbara mentioned. We've got a bad building, okay? We got sold a bad bill of goods. There should have been provisions in the contract with them to go back. Anytime against the builder, we should have been aggressive with that. It should have been wrapped up and resolved by now. And I think you need to have that information to know what can the city do with our own space. And without information, you don't have knowledge and you can't make a decision. Secondly, I'd like to see you get the studies that everybody's mentioned here. I've heard a traffic study, an impact study, a feasibility study, a sustainability study. And apparently, in all these years, kicking this football around, none of those have been done. Everything's growing around us, the economy's picking up a little bit better. Benny's obviously doing booming business, which means the potential for every business up there to do as good as Benny's is there. We need to support that. We need to get the environment ready for them to do it. Next, I would like to see you get the financials that everybody's looking for. Where's those audits? Make it public. Let us know what businesses are doing good and which ones are failing. If there's a business up there that's failing, maybe it's not in the right genre for that market, for that business. So let's look at what we've got there and what we can do with it. Then, once you have that information, the proposals, the people that proposed their ideas don't have it. You need to go back to them and say, okay, this is what we're dealing with now. We have a real clear picture. If your proposal is too large, we can't support the traffic for your business, then you're going to have a business that's built to fail. And then you're going to have future problems down the road. So let's get the information out there. Everybody has it. We don't have to get in bed with somebody and then find out we don't got the right sheets for that bed. Okay? Then, once we get this information, and I think this can be done, I mean, you know your staff better than anybody else, so I think we could do this in less than 90 days, come back, maybe even get to the proposals, and have them revamped, then come to the public and have a public showing of these proposals. We did it when we had the studies with the girls that came down from the Treasure Coast and Martin County got all that grant money to redo their beach. And they gave us a whole proposal, we all drew up our drawings and they made it into professional shows and we got that done. Then make your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to reiterate, no decisions or votes will be taken tonight. I mentioned that at the very beginning of the meeting. We're not voting on anything tonight.
You said you weren't voting, but you said you were going to select a proposal at the very beginning. Is that what I heard?
No.
Okay,
No.
my bad.
No, we're
Sorry.
coming back.
Okay, well, can we go that way then? That's my.
Richard Garcia, North Gulfview Road. I don't know how many of these people were at the last ITN meeting. I know that it kind of thinned out as the night went on, but I was pleasantly surprised with the process. Commissioner Amoroso, Mr. Waters, Juan, the way you guys came together and weeded everything out. There was no predisposition there. You had, what we're not seeing tonight though, is the color that was behind what the manager and the city attorney and you did in the beginning to lay out what was decided at that meeting. The color that the two of you gave was just, it was enlightening. to know what was gone through, and I think if everyone knew that, we'd probably be out of here already. You know, and I think that that's what needs to be looked at and somehow needs to be disseminated properly. I think you did a fantastic job, and I think that it needs to go forward that way. So that's all I wanted to say.
Mary Ann Polisi?
Thank you all for having me here. I do want to say that we all voted, everybody here in, and we all have to respect their opinions, whether or not you are for or against. I have lived here for 30 years, and I firmly believe that the taxes, if we stay where we're at now, we're going to have more taxes. How are we going to pay for the swimming pool? How are we going to pay for all these expenses? Who's going to pay for it? We're going to pay for it. And to me, it's a travesty that it's kind of like when you have apples to oranges. It's like, it's a simple solution. I know that many people here have many different views, and that's their opinion. Mine is that we have to go forward to something that will sustain Lake Worth, to make Lake Worth on the map, not to have Lake Worth called Lake Worthless anymore. To me, it's important that regardless of who you choose, it's important that we do something with the casino.
Okay, everyone's been real troopers out there. You've made it through, you missed your dinner, you did everything else, so I'm gonna put a time clock on my commissioners. Everyone gets one pass at it. Since you got, and I think it's safe to assume we'll be back again to discuss things again. So, Pamela, time clock, 3 minutes for each of my commissioners, wrap it up.
Commissioner Myers, let's start.
Thank you. We heard a lot of comments today. I'll just be very frank. The ones that I liked the most were saying that without the financial information, without the real audited numbers, we can't move forward with new development at the beach. We can't move forward with an idea that's fixing a problem that we aren't even actually sure exists or to what extent it exists. What we do know is that we have a building that has issues. We have a building that needs fixed. And we hired a builder to build that building for us, and they are responsible for the problems there. I think that our attention, our focus right now needs to be in solving those problems. We shouldn't be here with a development project. We should be here with a project to fix the building that we already have there. And maybe if we decide to do these studies,